Hey everyone and welcome today, and I'm going to be going over some of the first demo impressions of Sonic Frontiers. Now at Gamescom and other smaller events and Tokyo Game Show as well, people actually got to have hands-on with Sonic Frontiers. They got the full demo. Some people got further than others, some people just sort of messed about in the starting area, some people actually got into cutscenes and story info, but don't worry, this will be sort of a spoiler-free video. This is just going to be going over the general impressions of the general populace, and do note that the majority of these that I'm pulling up are sort of coming from a mixture of YouTubers, game journalists, as well as corporations. So just bear in mind that the corporations and journalists generally have very mixed views, very weird views on Sonic. But obviously I will be taking into account with YouTubers as well as just the general populace that played it, because I feel like that gives you a more realistic and a more truthful view of the actual situation currently with Sonic Frontiers. So let's get right into it. So I looked at about 32 impressions, and overall from what I could see, 24 of them were optimistic, 6 of them were pretty much like quite dire. They were really bad, really scathing, and then the other 4 were essentially very pessimistic, very optimistic at the same time, where they picked apart some things, but then with other things they said, well, it might be good once it comes out. The biggest point of contention that I've seen would be the open zone, being the open world, being that Sonic Frontiers is obviously an open world game, and sort of depending on who's playing it, the open zone can be either dense, substantial and fun, or can be empty, directionless and boring. Again, it depends on who's playing, but from what I've seen, again, the game is now, I haven't played it, so I can't give my own views on it. I will when the game comes out. I'll be doing a full review, but from what I've seen, people are saying that it does look good. So I think it depends on the type of person, because some people will prefer the 2D games, some people will prefer the boost formula games, whereas some people want something brand new. They want something like open world, they prefer something like the adventure games, for example. So I guess it depends on who plays the demo. Many outlets did complain about pop-in. Again, in all the gameplay and all the trailers there are pop-in. I know in the sort of very early demo looks when IGN sort of did the gameplay, they did go over the fact that in the background you can see like bushes popping in, rails popping in, rings popping in, boost rings popping in, that sort of thing. So again, it's an open world game, it's going to happen. I think as long as it's not happening 24/7, I think it is difficult because obviously Sonic's running so fast for an open world. I think there is going to be some pop-in, but hopefully some of it can be fixed before the game comes out. I know the game only comes out in sort of a month and a half, so they have got some time to go yet. From what I've seen as well, the cyberspace levels were enjoyed almost across the board. I don't think there was only like a couple of reviews and outlets that I saw that said they just didn't like the cyberspace levels. The only thing that's worried me is what I've gone over in a previous video, is the fact that the cyberspace levels are actually sort of reused from Unleashed and Generations and Colors and Sonic Forces as well. So we're going to have to see how good they are. Hopefully, I'd prefer one cyberspace level that's sort of 4 to 5 minutes that's really good, rather than sort of 5 or 6 cyberspace levels broken up into like 1 minute segments. It does look like that's the case. From what I've seen, most of the cyberspace levels are only like 50 seconds to a minute, which is bordering on Sonic Forces level of quality. So I'm really hoping that it's only the early ones that are like this. I'm hoping that some of the later ones are sort of 3 to 4 minutes. I think that's like a good time area to have a Sonic level at. Obviously that I'm talking about like an S rank. Obviously some people may take a bit longer if they're not as good as the game. But yeah, the bosses look really cool. From what people have said in the demo impressions, they've said that the bosses were really cool because they actually sort of interact with the open world, as well as you have to do really clever things to traverse them. Like for example, in the trailer you have that one boss where you have to sort of hop from rail to rail, and then obviously we've seen the Titans where you have to sort of run up their leg, boost through rings, and then attack sort of like the core, I'm going to call it core crystal on top, which looks really cool. I have seen in a few of the demos that people have played that it was really janky, like that people would be essentially running up the leg and then just suddenly pause, or be like chucked off. They'd be thrown off into the open world. So again, hopefully this is just because it's like an early demo. Again, we'll have to see. But overall, it seems so far that opinions of Sonic Frontiers are mostly positive. Though again, we've been here before. Sonic Forces looked really positive before it came out. Obviously, there were quite a few red flags, but it's still, we were thinking, oh my god, all these things, they're all coming together, like it's going to be really good. And then obviously the game came out, and it's one of the worst 3D Sonic games. So we've been here before, we've done this before. So it's for me, this is the last chance Sega and Sonic Team have on a Sonic game. I think if this game is bad, then that's me done. I think I don't want to play anymore, won't be covering Sonic anymore, that sort of thing, but which breaks my heart as a long-time Sonic fan. I'll just go back and play the good ones. But yeah, there are also some seemingly some technical aspects about the game that obviously need sharpening up before release, but this will be done, I reckon, with either like a first day patch or whatever, so we're going to have to wait and see. From what I've seen as well with the public demo, most people came away from it quite positive. So that was another thing as well, that's another thing that we have to take into account. But I am really excited about Sonic Frontiers. I'm not going to lie to you, it does appeal to me greatly. I love open world games, I love sort of Breath of the Wild, Skyrim, GTA, Red Dead, like those sort of open worlds, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, where you get sucked into these open worlds and there's loads of stuff to do. I'm really excited personally, and it looks like the rest of the community, obviously other than a few outlets, really liked it. So we're going to have to wait and see. I mean, Sega and Azuka have already said that they are predicting that the game will review highly and do really well. But we'll have to wait and see, because again, they said the same thing about Sonic Forces, and look how that turned out. But anyway, guys, what do you guys think of the Sonic Frontiers demo? If you've had a chance to play it, let me know what you thought in the comments below. And did you like it? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.